Good morning and welcome to the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. My name is Jen and I'll be your hike leader today. Today we're at the Pima Dynamite Trailhead within the preserve. Have any of you been here before? Oh, you've been to the Granite Mountain Trailhead. Yes, that's another preserve trailhead. Just to give you an overview, we are in the city of Scottsdale, where we have 30,000 acres of land that was set aside to advance the natural open spaces through science, education, and stewardship. Today we'll be traveling down the Bootlegger Trail, which is about 6 miles long. This is your last chance to use the restroom. There are no restrooms along the trail. Let's make sure we keep our hands and our feet where we can see them. We do have rattlesnakes out here with us in the desert, but just be aware of your surroundings. And if we come across any rattlesnakes, we will give them plenty of space to move along. They will not chase you, I promise. Welcome to the Sonoran Desert, where it's exclusive home to the Saguaro cactus. The Saguaro cactus still is the cactus that the Tohono O'odham relate to the most. Stories of Tohono O'odham ancestors reincarnating themselves into saguaros is a big part of the tradition of the original desert people. The original desert people came here started in 1100 AD, where canals were built in order to sustain crops throughout the Sonoran Desert. The Tohono O'odham have direct ties to the Hohokam, and the Hohokam were the original canal builders of Arizona. Some of those canals we are still using today. I think it's important to tell the stories and traditions of the Tohono O'odham people in order to keep the language alive. Stories of the Tohono O'odham are passed down generation to generation, and one of the stories suggests that the Aitawa, the creator of the desert people, actually, the sweat of his brow was planted into the Sonoran Desert, and from it, the creation of the saguaro. How many of you have participated in strawberry picking, blueberry picking, apple picking? I know there's not a whole lot of that here in Arizona, but back home in Michigan, a tradition was to go deer hunting in the month of November. That was a time where we could gather as family, dads, grandparents, to rejoice in the harvest of deer season. Well, the Tohono O'odham during the month of June would gather in the south-facing slopes where the saguaro grew in large numbers. It's important to say that the Tohono O'odham were the original harvesters of the desert. The Sonoran Desert was 100,000 square miles of land that produced different harvests, different fruits, different ways of gathering to help them sustain through the year. They didn't have grocery stores. The harvest of the O'odham started in June, the hottest month of the year. This is where families gathered in the saguaro camps with their hats, with their buckets, and with their kupis, and I'll explain more about that later, to gather fruit from the saguaro. Now this happened over a 3-week period of time. And saguaros are known to be up to 40 feet tall. So can anybody guess or give me some ideas of how you think that traditionally the fruit was gathered from the tops of the stems of the saguaro? Here's a photo of me using a kupi pole, which has not changed very much. So the Otham would take the ribs of a dead saguaro, these woody, strong, generally 15 feet in length, depending, but they would secure two of them together, and then at the top, I don't know if you can see it, there's a cross point here that helps to push the fruit that is on the crown of the saguaros off of the top, right like this. Yep, it was a kupa. The Tohono O'odham generally had a place where they kept their kupas from the previous season, so whoever ended up at the Ramada first got the best kupa. I think that's pretty cool. But camps were generally very basic needs. You had water. You had water to clean this fruit. You had a stove to cook the fruit on, and division of labor at these camps where women would go out in teams of two. One would push off the fruit using the kupa, and another would collect the fruit with a bucket. Men would bring water to the ladies who would harvest, a couple hours in the morning. They'd start about 6 because, it's triple digits in the month of June here in Arizona. One of the first things that they do upon taking a fruit down from the Hassan is they would take it, cut it open, and it was a fleshy fruit, kind of like a kiwi, but red with nearly, get this, almost 40,000 seeds. So they would take that juice and rub it on their forehead, rub it on their chest, and thank the Creator for bringing them this fruit in the height of summer when they needed it the most. From this fruit, they would develop syrups, jams, and even a little bit of wine. Because in June, being that it is the new year of the harvest calendar, the saguaro was everything. It was a celebration. It was the beginning of their harvest season. So it was a good time. Stories were told. Songs that were originally forbidden to sing were sung within these camps. Children were active in these harvest camps as well, and they were taught from a very young age to honor the Hassan or the saguaro. They're taught not to throw rocks or damage the saguaro at all, because the saguaro was their ancestors. It was believed that when you walked among the saguaros, you were walking among the ancestors. So children, watch out. Your grandpa's always watching. Camps today are much like the Kupa. They haven't changed very much. And the Otham are still practicing saguaro harvest every June. They're doing it more on a limited basis, though. The saguaro is federally protected. So Otham, in tradition, just as they have done before, only take what they need. And they do offer guidance for people like you or I to learn their traditions. It's a limited basis near the Saguaro National Park. Look for that, offering through the Desert Botanical Gardens. But I just like to say that to honor the Hassan is to honor the traditions of family. And honoring family is honoring their voice and their language. And without speaking that language, it might die. So I encourage you to ask questions if you have them. I'll be here for another 20 minutes or so, and I would love to talk to you more about some of the traditions with the Hassan and the Tohono O'odham people. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.